After that, Amber goes to the airport, and what does she do? She buys a book by a psychiatrist who's talking about couples therapy. She's already trying to figure out a way to fix it again, fix this marriage that's only a month old, and her husband has just done these horrible things to her. Now, they go back to L.A. He's got to get his finger fixed, so he has to stop filming Pirates 5. They get there, and there's another fight in just 2 weeks from there. He's still using at this point. He's still drunk. But Amber finds on a TV screen, his monitor, she finds pictures of another woman, naked pictures of a woman, and text messages which show that he's clearly having an affair. She gets extremely mad. Now, her sister Whitney happened to be in the house. She was summoned, she literally was awakened to come and try to resolve this fight between the two of them. So Amber actually gets up and punches Johnny in the face. She'll tell you that's the only time she has ever laid one on him, in an aggressive manner. But it's after he's already been hitting her, and it's in defense of her sister. And she'll admit, she got him that time, and she actually did have an impact on him. She'll testify about how many times they were in their fights, and she said, she's almost half his size. So she said, if I pushed him, he doesn't move. He pushes me, I go flying across the room. There isn't any, ability on her part to be the abuser. What she'll also tell you is it took her a while to ever fight back. That many times before that, she would do what she did when she was breaking the horses. She wouldn't show fear. She wouldn't show pain. She would look at him. She would just be defiant, and all it would do was piss him off more. She'll tell you that she tried everything. She tried everything, from trying to be nice, trying to get away from him. She would throw things in his way to get him from running after her. She would try to, flail back. She would use her hands and legs, and she would go and try to fight him. She'd run into her room and try to barricade and push his hands and everything out of there. She'd try all those things, but she couldn't figure out what. And he's got his boot stuck in the bed frame as he's doing it, and the force of what he's doing to her causes the bed frame to splinter. That's how much force. She is suffocating in the pillow, and she believes truly she's going to die on this one. She wakes up to her friend being there. She doesn't know how long that she was unconscious or subconscious. She doesn't know. But Johnny was gone at that point, and her friend saying, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" But her friends rally with her. She's got a makeup artist. You're going to hear from Melanie Iglesias, who does the best job of makeup you could imagine to get her through the James Corden show. And then he said somebody touched her and she flinched on the show. He said, that's not like Amber. He got there, they hadn't cleaned up all the mess. He sees the hair, he sees the splintered, he sees all of the other things, and he is so upset. He was a good friend of Johnny's as well. He'll testify about all of his friendship with Johnny, but he put his foot down on that one and said, you need to have consequences. You cannot do this to Amber anymore. I am not your friend anymore. Now, there were several people that were supposed to go to Johnny's island, Bahamas Island, in December for Christmas. He was going to bring his 2 kids. He'd invited Amber's parents, who loved Johnny, and unfortunately her father used to drink and do drugs with Johnny a lot, but he talked Amber into going. He guilted her into going. Amber went. And then he ends up assaulting her even there, and sexually assaults her even there. That same night before the video, he called Io, Till It Right, and left him a voicemail message that he said was just absolutely delusional. It was crazy. He was pretending like he was the property management. It was just an insane call. And then the next day we have the picture of the video. Then we get to April 30th, or April 21st, 2016. Amber's 30th birthday party. She was going to turn 30 the next day. Pretty big event. Her friends had a tape that they put together of everybody giving her tributes. Johnny doesn't participate. They have a dinner and a party for her that night. Johnny says, I have a business meeting at 7 p.m. I'll be there after that. What kind of business meeting do you need to have at 7 p.m. when your wife turns 30? But that's Johnny, right? And he can't say that it was an important financial one because he'd fired his financial manager the month before when, as you heard from Ben, it was blaming him for all his financial problems, so he's the problem. So he shows up late, drunk, drugs, and after everybody, and he's even drinking while he's there, and he's telling the other friends, and you'll hear from one of them, that he's saying, hide the bottle from Amber, hide the bottle from Amber. When they all leave, she expresses her disappointment. He gets mad and assaults her again, including sexually assaults her. He comes over, and his mother died the day before, and he's already in a state. He's been drinking, he's clearly high, and he comes in, and he's got on his mind this obsession that when she, on her birthday, go back to her birthday, the next day she and her friends went to Coachella, but his housekeeper had come in to clean after that, always did, and the housekeeper had found some feces on the bed, and had been upset about it and taken a picture and sent it to him. So all of a sudden, a month later, he's got it in his head that Amber has conspired with her friends to defecate on the bed. It's human, not dog, even though they got 2 dogs and one of them has major problems. You'll hear about Boo and Pistol. And somehow Amber was doing this so he would get back there and find it, even though he had no intention of coming back, and even though the housekeeper was there. And he won't lose it. He won't get rid of it. He's just obsessed with it. Then he decides that it's Io Tillett-Wright who did it, even though Io wasn't at the birthday party and wasn't even in town. So Amber gets Io on the phone. Io's in New York. And she says, this is what Johnny says. Can you please just calm him down? Tell him this isn't true. Tell him we don't have a conspiracy here. And Io's thinking, what? And you'll hear from Io, he'll say, Amber's fecal phobia. I mean, she can't even, she's so embarrassed about that stuff. She would never conspire, never do anything like that to him. So they're kind of laughing at the absurdity of it, and that was the biggest mistake, because that triggered his anger. And then he started hitting Amber. He grabbed the cell phone from her, wound it up, and bashed it into her face. And you will see the pictures, you will see the bruise there, and you'll see the form of it there. And then he calls 911. And it's not clear, whether Amber said call 911 or he said call 911, but he calls 911. But he's in New York, and he's genuinely concerned for her safety. So he calls 911 there, and he calls a friend in LA and says, please call 911 and just tell them this, so they get somebody there so we can get somebody fast. I don't know what's going on. So the police are called twice, essentially. And now, here's what happens next. Johnny goes around and he trashes the apartment before he leaves. He loves to do that. You're going to hear about his penchant for that. Does it a lot. And you'll see a picture of him in the elevator afterwards, leaving with his bodyguards, and he's a little agitated there. And the police are called. You will see pictures of Amber with metadata on them, both before, during, and after the police officers are there. But what happens is Amber calls her attorney, the one that she had consulted after the December 15 event. And the attorney says, if you press charges, they'll arrest him. And the police officers say to him, look, she's got the red mark on there. If you just give us the name, we'll go get him. And he says, no, I can't. She won't let me. So they leave. Now here's what happens and creates all of the noise here that you're going to have to deal with. So the police officers don't make an incident report. They don't take a report. They don't document the property damage. They don't document the facial damage. Now the other police officers come 2 hours later. They've cleaned up the place at this point. They don't know that these police officers are arriving, but when they do arrive there, they try to discourage them even from coming in. Josh answers the door, says, no, the other police officers were already here. And he says, and they say, no, but we just have to see her. And they have body cams, by the way, so you'll see the body cam footage of this. So when faced with this big public, DVRO and all of the publicity later, now they go back to the police officers and say, hey, wait a second, you didn't take a report. You said it was a verbal dispute only. So Amber goes to get the domestic violence TRO. You're going to see the letter that her lawyer wrote to Johnny Depp's lawyer that week. So they knew, and it says right in there, she's going to go in on Friday. They chose not to go. They keep saying ex parte, but they chose not to appear, and they knew she was going to appear. Well, Amber didn't call TMZ, but somebody called TMZ to take all those photos that day. Now, you also heard them say that all kinds of people saw Amber that week, and she didn't have any bruises on her face. Well, let me show you this. This is what Amber carried in her purse for the entire relationship with Johnny Depp. She's an actor. Do you honestly think she would have left her apartment ever without makeup? Do you think that she ever would have wanted other people to see her bruises and her cuts? This was what she used. She became very adept at it. And you're going to hear the testimony from Amber about how she had to mix the different colors. She also used concealer, foundation. You'll hear from her makeup person that Amber didn't even leave her bedroom without having foundation on. And one of the people that was at the building testified. He said she had makeup on and it would have covered that bruise. So that's the testimony on that. We don't need a prenup. That's Johnny. It's true his advisors were all telling him, get one. And she said, I'll get one. Now, in addition to that, she also was dating Elon Musk by this time. You'll find out that Mr. Depp is obsessed with Elon Musk. But she's dating him, so he gives $500,000 to both of those charities in her honor. So you have heard from Mr. Depp's team that they are going to claim that Amber Heard abused Johnny Depp. You also are hearing from them that he says that she cut off his finger. When you look at the text messages and you look at the emails, you will see that in every one of those, Mr. Depp said to Dr. Kipper, to David Heard, Amber's father, and to others, I cut off my finger.